Jay from Patchwork Radio, and I'm here with Lathish. Lathish, how are you doing?
Hi, hello. I'm so glad that I have been a part of your channel. I'm doing well. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for the ask.
Very good. And you're an author of a book, and that's why you're on here, of course. And so if you could, what's the name of your book that you have?
Yeah, I've got one of my books published, and the name of the book is The Green Fire in the Night Sky.
The Green Fire in the Night Sky.
Yeah.
All right. So your name is Lathish, and we are excited about your book. So how long have you been writing?
Yeah, I've been writing since my childhood, and my first book was published in the year 2014, and till now, 5 books has been published, and this is the 6th book. So in order to answer the question, how long I've been into the writing process, I can say that from my childhood. I had a passion of writing since my childhood.
But is this full or part-time for you?
It is a part-time because I work different. I work as a teacher in a school, and apart from that, writing is my hobby. It's my passion.
The Green Fire in the Night Sky. That already sounds exciting to me. Tell us a little bit about the book.
The genre is science fiction, and more precisely, if I say it is a time loop. Science fiction and a mystery thriller. So honest, she met with an accident, and she lost her memory. She can't remember her name. She can't remember her identity. All she sees around her is just she's in the middle of a forest in Alaska, US. There she meets a guy in the forest. The guy agrees to help her out, like to get out of the forest. A woman named Scarlett who drops her. She drives her car to a mansion, and she is forced to stay there for that night. And where in the mansion there were 2 strangers. At that night, she encounters so many horrific experiences there, like the wild storm, and somebody is playing the violin, and some mystic characters, mysterious things she's been encountered with. Then she also sees the aurora borealis, that green fire. She sees that, and she's quite fascinated by that. The sight of that green fire makes her remember something. Finally, she gains a memory so that she is able to recall her name. But still, she is not able to recall why she has been there, why she is there in that mansion. The strange things that are supposed to happen in that mansion is somehow related to her life. And the people who she sees around are somehow related once again. And there was a person who continuously followed her. The crux of the book is who the person is, what was his motive to follow this girl, and who the strangers were, and how those events were related to her life. These are the outline of the story.
Well, that sounds exciting. It sounds like there's a little bit of course, science fiction and a little bit of mystery to that. And you gave us a great synopsis. I think that whets our appetite for the book. It's exciting. It's a short story, you said, and so it's not going to take long to get to read the book. And what I'd like to do now is to talk about you as an author and what has inspired you and brought you to the point of writing this book and maybe even some of your other books, okay?
Okay, so let me answer the question that is asked to me. Actually, what I wanted to say is that writing was my passion since my childhood. I can tell you that during my childhood, I happened to read a book called as Dracula, which was written by Bram Stoker. So while I was reading that book, I was in 3rd grade, maybe 8 or 9 years old. The first line itself hooked me a lot. And then I was so scared to read the book. Like I didn't have the courage to read it fully. But then I preferably wanted to read it at night itself, not in the daylight. I wanted to read it at night. And then I was thinking like, how an author can hook the reader in such an amazing way, because I couldn't stop reading the book right from the first page to the last. Even though my hands were shivering with fear, I managed to read the entire book. And then the craze of this horror came to my mind. Most of the books that I've written is in the genre horror, except 1 or 2 out of 5. Everything is in horror. And the present book that has been released yesterday is also I can say a mild horror is there, though it is a science fiction movie. A science fiction story. There is a mild horror there because I've written in that style because that is how I'm interested to write with. Uh, in the busy schedule of us, because I work 8 hours, I work, and then I play violin and I'm listening to music. I'm a chess player, and a lot of things are popping around me all the time. And in order to take a break, writing is the thing that helps me to take a break from all those things that makes me feel relaxed. And still now, the passion of writing, still I am continuing with that passion of writing. And on one fine day, I thought of writing a book, and that's this story came to my mind.
That is great, and I'm a big fan of Dracula and some of those stories out there that have inspired so many people and writers over the years as well. That's really exciting. You talked about how the first line or first chapter was it hooked you, and that was actually going to be one of my first questions to you, is how important is the first few words, sentences, paragraphs, chapters in a book? How important are those as a writer to get that right?
Okay, so I was thinking about this question for quite a long time. Actually, my basic style of writing is that this intriguing part I will be somewhere in the middle of the page or middle of the paragraph, and then many beta readers and many editors have suggested me not to do that because the readers, when they come to read our book, they should get hooked. So the first paragraph should be in such a way that it creates that interest to read further. So first sentence of the book should be in such a way that it should hook the readers. So every time I'll keep some like cliffhangers, or I'll keep some interesting things in the first line of the sentence, and slowly build up curiosity in that, and only that works out. That's what I felt. Due to my experience, I felt that first paragraph or even the first line should be hooking the readers, and we have to rephrase our sentence structures in order to make so.
That sounds great. I agree with that. I think that the first line should really hook people. Where do you get your ideas? What inspires you creatively? You said that this book kind of just came to you. Obviously, you have written in the horror genre for a while, but where do you get your ideas, and especially this book?
Okay. The ideas usually from our daily experiences, the people that we see around us. Suppose I usually take it like this: every situations that we face within our daily life is actually a story. It can be a minuscule event, or anything that we see around us can be turned into a story. Example: during my when I go out to work, the people that I see on the road, the words that they speak to me. If we take one portion out of it, we can build up a story with that. So for that scenario, we will have to add some extra scenes to it, add some mystical things to it, or add some horror to it, or add some suspense building to it. Many a times I got stuck up with the first chapter after I'm writing, and I stop it for a while, and I don't really have any ideas how to continue with it. So what I usually used to do is I'll take a break. I'll come back once again to finish with the first draft. And then I see that a different idea pops up to my mind, which I have never thought of before. And then I'll continue with the story. Once again, take a break. And then when a different idea comes, I'll continue the story. And finally, I can see that the ideas, what I have never thought of before, has come out in my story. And the story is taking a new way, which I have never dreamt before. And if that story is interesting to me, I'll try to go ahead with that. And then I'll give it to the beta readers too, because I wanted to convince myself that the story what I have written is understandable, comprehensible to the readers. And that's how my writing process goes.
That is awesome. You are letting creativity happen on its own terms, and then when you have those ideas, you're writing them down. What kind of research do you do for your books? For instance, you are in India, and you're writing about Alaska in the United States, two very different places. There are other examples in your book, but how do you do your research, and how long do you spend researching before you really start writing the book or developing it?
Okay. Researching about this is another pastime to me because I wanted to write the plot should be something which I have never been before. Also wanted to get to know about the climatic conditions there. I wanted to get to know about the food habits there, the behavior of the people over there. So I would like to call this as spice. Spice in the sense S for social, P for political, I for intellectual, C for cultural, and E for economical. All this I'll have a study of that, a brief study of that, and only then I'll try to plot it. And if I got any doubts on this, I'll just quit that place and move to a different place. But I'll select some places where I haven't been before, because that also gives me a little feeling that I've been to that place, and as a reader and as a writer also I can enjoy my novel very much.
That is really interesting that you have the acronym for SPICE in your research, and I might actually put that up as one of the quotes to inspire people that are interested in the book and how you got there, and even other writers that are interested in that. That's a great way to do some research. So how do you manage your work schedule? You said that I picked up on a couple things. You like playing chess, you play the violin, and you're a teacher. You write in your free time. How do you manage your schedule and block times to write? Maybe when you're feeling creative. You said that when the ideas come to you, you write. How do you manage your schedule?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, many of the interviewers ask me this question, and not only interviewers, the people who I see around, they ask me. This thought flow is approaching towards my writing process. The thought, what I think is what I write in the paper. Okay, so that being said, after I reach home, the rest of the time, if I'm quite bored of it something, I'll play with the musical instruments a bit, because I dedicate just 1 hour or 1.5 hours for the music, and then based on my mindset, my mood at that time, I'll start into writing, because writing is a process. It may not come when we want something to be written. At that time, we may not be in a mood. I'll switch on to a different task there. And once I'll come back to writing process. And also, one more thing I wanted to tell at this point of time is that when we are not comfortable with any of the situations that we see around, we'll try to think too much of that situation. We'll imagine so many things. If this would have been this way, I would have done something else better. If this situation was like this, I would have done like this. So many thought flows happens in our brain, and all those things I can creatively merge into my writing process. And finally, without even my knowledge, I say that this writing process is going ahead. Maybe I may take a break of a day or two, but the third day, no, it doesn't usually go beyond 2 days. But the third day, I will dedicate myself towards the writing.
And so I'm going to pick up the book and read it again. It's The Green Fire in the Night Sky. Let me ask you another question, and it is what does literary success look like to you? Is it money, fame, getting ideas out, artistic freedom, all of that? What does success look like to you?
It is obviously it is fame. It's not money. Actually, I haven't received much royalties. I received, but not much. The money that we receive is what I call it as a passive income. Passive income, what I mean by that is the income other than what I earn from my work is passive income to me. And I know that passive income is one that supports us when we are in need. So we need to promote those books, etc., and we should earn a passive income, and that we have to reserve that for any emergency or any sudden needs. Those passive incomes helps. But actually, it is not the money that benefits me from this writing. It's just obviously it's the fame. I promote it in my social media. I promote my books in different places, and a lot many people come to know about the book. They will inquire about that. They will ask me about that, and that's what I need. I need the fame there. And my book is available in Amazon. Right now, it has been released only in Amazon, but in the subsequent days to come, it will be released in more platforms like Barnes and Noble and not many other platforms. But now it is available in Amazon.com, Amazon.uk, and other places too.
Lathish, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing about your book. I know you're passionate about it. I can tell that. You're putting in a lot of time. You've written many books, and it seems to be that you've really thought through what you're doing, and I appreciate that as somebody that's also a creative person. I hope that this inspires people to go out and get the book, The Green Fire in the Night Sky, and check it out for yourself. Thank you for being with us, and anytime that you want to come back, we'd love to have you back if you write another book, and we'll talk to you more from then.
Thank you so much. Nice talking to you.